Public Finance Management Act 2012 and the Intergovernmental Relations Act 2012. Specifically, this partnership was put in place to allow the parties to, number A, funding of the CAIPs. In line with the agreement, the national government shall transfer 250 million shillings to each county government as conditional grants in accordance with the Public Finance Management Act. The county governments shall allocate matching funds to the tune of 250 million shillings to the project. The national government will fast-track the allocation of the conditional grants to the remaining 29 counties through a supplementary budget of 2023-2024. B, on partnership, the national government, in collaboration with the county governments, will engage the private sector and other investors to facilitate the implementation and realization of the CAIPs. Number 5, further, the Council of Governors, in collaboration with the Public-Private Partnership Directorate, will fast-track the uptake of PPP projects by county governments. C, on realization of the CAIPs. Number 6, it is envisaged that CAIPs will be completed within 3 years from the commencement to boost aggregation, value addition, market linkages, and industrialization of the counties. But I must say that most counties, because have fully budgeted for this year, we expect that most counties will finish the construction of the CAIPs within the year by the end of this financial year, which is June 2024, and thereafter the onboarding of the investors is what will take another year or so. Some counties are already ready and have the investors ready, but those who don't have another year, a year and a half to onboard the investors. This project will contribute to enhanced production, reduce post-harvest losses, agro-processing, entrepreneurship, and job creation. Additionally, it will connect counties through commodity exchange and warehouse receipting. On El Nino preparedness and mitigation, earlier on in the year, the Kenya Meteorological Department predicted that most parts of the country will experience heavy rainfall, with flood-related risks expected to continue into January 2024. To date, we wish to state that the county governments have not received any allocation from the national government to go towards mitigation measures of El Nino. I would like to repeat that. To date, we wish to state and clarify that county governments have not received any allocation from the national government to go towards mitigation measures for El Nino. As a matter of fact, counties are owed a total of 62.58 billion from the equitable share that is yet to be disbursed as follows. 13 counties are owed 10.17 billion for the month of September. 27 counties are owed 19.64 billion for the month of October. And finally, all counties are owed 32.76 billion for the month of November. As we conclude, we note with concern public utterances that suggest that county governments have received funds from the national government to support the mitigation of the devastating impact of El Nino rains. We take the position that such utterances are against the spirit of collaboration and cooperation with county government as envisioned under the provision of Article 6.2 of the Constitution. In such times, we call upon the two levels of government to come together in order to intensify response strategies to mitigate against the complex risks arising from heavy rains and flooding, in addition to the existing humanitarian challenges. This is not the time to point fingers. This is not the time to make accusations. This is not the time for populist politics. This is the time to put our hands together and ensure that we reduce as much as possible the suffering of Kenyans. Counties, on their part, with their emergency funds, have put in place various mitigation measures to support their constituents, and we're asking all stakeholders to partner with county governments to elevate the suffering of Kenyan people. I was speaking to the Vice Chair of the Council of Governors late into the night last night. He gave me a dreadful report of Wajir, where they have been marooned. Most towns are marooned. He has tried to airlift medicine and food using choppers. I'm sure you know that 2 of those choppers crash landed. And it's a very serious time when Kenyans must pull together to see how we can help one another during this very devastating time. And so I urge all political actors to make reasonable statements and actions that will help the people of Kenya to elevate the suffering of those who elected us in office. Thank you. To start off the industrialization of the country, having industrial parks across the counties, along various value chains that the county governments have been working on for the last 1 year. Every county has identified several value chains on which they will focus, and based on those value chains, they have identified industries that will be set up in the industrial parks. The KIPES is just a first step of the industrialization. We will start with the building of the 4 sheds where we can have 3 or so medium-sized industries, and then small and micro enterprises sharing space. In addition to that, counties and the national government are looking for investors to expand on these county aggregation and industrial parks. So we are very happy that finally we have reached this place, Waziri, where we can sign so that we can be able to move forward. At the initial stage, we had 18 counties, because the resources that had previously been set aside were for an estimate of 100 million per county, so it was about 4.7 billion shillings from the national government to support. And then we realized it was not enough, so they increased the support, His Excellency increased the support to 250 million, so that the counties also match that support. And therefore, the first phase of the counties that will be implementing was the first 18. We hope, Waziri and PS, that the remaining counties are duly factored in the next financial year, if not in the revised budget, in the next financial year, so that we have all the counties onboarded. As we speak, the counties that are signing today have already given out the contracts and have already started building the county aggregation and industrial parks. This is a requirement by the National Treasury and the Control of Budget that we should have an agreement between, an intergovernmental agreement between the national government and county governments to facilitate the flow of resources. The expected outcomes is that with this industrialization, we will have an increase in the number of people who are employed. We all know that we have a challenge of unemployment at the county levels, and we also expect that in the long term, we will be able to reduce the rural-urban migration, because most of the motivation for the migration is usually employment. And once the employment is available at the county levels, we should be able to retain a lot of our young people at the county level and be able to develop our counties in that regard. I will not speak too much because this is a signing ceremony, but to say once again, on behalf of the county governments, and before I give my colleagues an opportunity to speak, maybe I just allow the minister to say 1 word or 2, and then we open the floor for interventions, a few interventions from my colleagues, and then we can do the signing. Thank you.
Thank you.
For good optics, we can the CS and the governor can be signing at the same time, since we have 3 copies. So the county attorney, you stand beside your governor.
Can I suggest that we